7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
The Savachi syndrome, I'm telling you, I'm like, well, holy shit, that was crazy.
Wait for it. Thick and slick.
Alright, here we go. What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Moto Aftermath Show, presented by TLR Hoodies and Durango Guitar Works. As you can see, we are back in studio here.
All a little depressed.
And
we have a lot to cover.
Well, yeah, so...
all this racing that we're doing? I know, right?
We kind of threw the text out the other day, hey, are we going to do a show? And we kind of decided, yes, we would do one. We're going to... this obviously is not breaking news. We're going to talk about races that are canceled, rumors that we've heard, talk about some of the racing from like Daytona and Atlanta probably, because we didn't do a show with all of us together to talk about that kind of stuff. And
let's be honest, I think it's kind of appropriate. I mean, not that we're on the level of some of these other shows, but people want to know what we have to say, and I think it's smart to address this. This is the biggest story.
All five of you want to know what we got to say, and don't you worry, it's coming at you, baby.
It's just so mind-blowing to wrap my head around like what is happening. It's crazy.
Yeah. Now, just a reminder to you boys, we will have to take some breaks here because this camera does reset every 30 minutes, and I may have some customers coming in because us here at TLR Coatings, we are open during this number 19 outbreak. We are open. So if you need some custom powder coating because you're home from work and you're working on project, we got you. All right.
Good time to be at home working on home projects.
That was
good
a good
time
plug.
to be in the garage working on your
That's a good
car or
plug.
bike.
Dude, did you like that? I took the extension cord and I just
Hey, but let's say you're at home, you're quarantined, and you want to learn how to play some music.
You could also look up Durango Guitar.
Wow, that was nice too. Good job.
Yeah, we are good at this. We are good at our jobs here. Now I will put the logo down over your crotchal region here because that's where it usually goes. And especially because you're drinking that drink that doesn't want to even email me back.
That's not really.
Well, I'm sure Red Bull isn't going to email you back. Sorry.
I mean,
need to email these guys.
I did not email Bang. Bang!
Bang might, you know.
Bang!
Anyway, influencers.
Bang!
Influencers. Maybe Corona will sponsor us.
So anyway, yes, great. So anyway, as always, make sure to follow us on social media. I actually have a bunch of content from the Daytona Supercross that I went to. I just put the pictures up last night. I finally went through them. We took like almost 1,500 pictures, so that was a thing that I had to do. I have raw riding footage because we're raw dogging everything pretty much all the time.
Nice, yep.
And then I have vlog footage, and I don't know what else. So it's all coming down the pipe. Dude, I took a lot of stuff. Did you buy a coat while you were down there?
I wore my Oakley snowboard jacket the whole time.
How is it that you guys did not link up one time?
All right, so here's the situation. So there's this little car show thing going on outside of turn 4.
Okay.
No, it was across from the front straight, because literally like center of the front
Turn 4
straight.
NASCAR.
What?
Yeah, like on the exit of turn 4, straight across.
No, it was straight across from the bridge, which is straight across from almost the center of the fucking thing. I came out and went across the bridge. Yes, it is.
It wasn't anywhere near the fucking...
It's not.
All right, can we get to the point, guys, please?
All right, so across the street from
down the road
racetrack,
at Uncle Bob's house,
there is a Bass Pro Shop with this little mall, strip mall thing attached to it.
Yeah,
there was a car
cool
show.
area. Yep. I went to eat at the barbecue joint.
Did you before the line?
It was good.
We were gonna.
No, you want to know the trick to that?
Oh.
There was a big old line.
Yeah.
Went and sat at the bar, served us immediately.
Nice.
Yep. So
because we looked at
there's a hot tip right there.
We looked at it, but there was like a line, like 100 people out the door.
You go there?
Fuck PF Chang's.
Anyway, there's a car show out there, and Travis texts me. He's like, "Well, where you at?" I said, "I'm wandering through a car show." And he's like, "Well, sweet. I'm at Bass Pro Shops getting a jacket." I said, "All right." And then I didn't look at my phone. I went back to the car and sat down because I was freezing my ass off. I've been on my feet all day, and it was like intermission time in between the last qualifier and the mains and heats and all that. So I sat in the car. I kicked the seat back a little bit, and next thing I know, I woke up and it was 30 minutes later. So
I'm back at the stadium and I get a text, "Hey man, I fell asleep in my car." That was all she wrote.
Yep.
Where did you sit?
But also after the race, I didn't get a text, call, nothing.
Dude, I was so okay. So I
I was out on the track, surveying the track.
I did that too, and then I immediately walked to the track. I walked on the track because I was like, okay, I haven't ever gotten to really go on a supercross track. I did the track walk in Oakland last year, and all they let us go through was like the fucking whoops, which I was like, okay,
That was
that's
way
fine.
gnarly, isn't it?
Yeah, and which that's gnarly, but whatever. But my thing is, okay, because I build the tracks at the house here and stuff, was like, okay, how close is it to like what I'm building? And so I'm like, we're going out there, we're walking. So me and the chick went out there, we walked the track, and I was like, okay, I feel like height-wise, I'm in the ballpark as far as stuff goes.
What do you think? What do you see out there? You think he's in the ballpark? We're surveying the track right now. It doesn't look like it's in the ballpark.
That is in the ballpark.
Anyway.
It doesn't look as in the ballpark, but it's in the ballpark. But anyway, so I got some good notes on there as far as like what to build and how to build it.
So a lot of our viewers probably listen to Steve and
Are
Paul.
you one of those dumbasses that picked up a tough block and was like, I'm sure they're gonna let me carry this out of the gate? Because I saw some kids doing that, and I'm like, you guys are fucking morons.
So a lot of our viewers, I'm sure, listen to Pulp as well. How Steve wants to put Daytona on a home.
I'm not saying I disagree with that, but anyway.
But for us that we were there, we
Yes.
can talk about our perspective. It's the coolest race probably on the whole schedule as far as
there's so much
extracurricular
history.
activities, uniqueness,
There's so much history with Daytona.
a lot of history with it. Yes, we went out and walked the track.
That was cool.
I know, like, they let the fans walk the track, so they don't do that at any other race as well, which is cool. If you're a fan and want to go check it out,
And you can go to the podium too, which that was cool.
cool. For a fan, I think it's awesome. And if you're into bikes altogether, you head downtown. Bike week festivities are going on. Like any kind of bike you can think of's down there. Good old time. Daytona's honestly a shithole. The city.
Yes, it is.
So if you get over by the beach and stuff, it's really not the nicest area.
Nope.
But as far as being a fan of the sport and as unique as it is, it's one you gotta go to, in my opinion.
I just always feel like Steve's biggest complaint is being able, accessibility is always his biggest bitch. Being able to get there, just, you know, they talked about it on the Pulp Show when RV was on there, and RV goes, yeah, well, do you pay attention to A1? He's like, we can't fucking go anywhere at A1.
But I do agree with him to a point. So number one, okay, they say you can park in the infield, right? But there isn't really signage for infield parking. There's just signage that says parking. So for example, when we went, we stopped off at Panda Express across the street, had lunch, and then boom, it was about 11:15-ish. I'm like, okay, let's head over. And then, so we go to where I saw this parking sign, which was on the end by turn 1 and 2. We turn in there, and then when you turn in, you go through this whole thing of like campers and shit outside the track, and I'm like,
Pro tip.
are we in the right spot? Yes.
Park in the Bass Pro Shops parking lot.
You know,
Walk across the bridge.
I thought about that when you said it,
That's what I
and
do
somebody
every
else
year.
had told me that before, like after I'd already parked, and I was like, fuck, I should have done that. But anyway, so we went to park on the infield, which was cool, because it was cool driving through the tunnel, and then when you got out there, to get to where the infield parking was, you were actually driving the road course, so I'm in a full-size truck, right? Just fucking taking these curves like, this is awesome, Rolex 24. Anyway, but then you go in there and park, and then after you park, there's like no signage anywhere for like where to go.
See, I've never been on that side, so I don't know.
Yeah, see, so in there, all it is like, so you're parked literally on the infield, right? And in between you and where you know the race is there's like the pits and fucking fencing. And so we walk over to this fencing, we walk down to like the first break, and there's a guy standing there. And we're like, hey, can we go in here? And he's like, oh no, you gotta keep going farther down that way. Mind you, there's no signs anywhere that say any fucking thing in there as to where you're supposed to go. So then you go in, and that's cool, and we had paid for the roost tickets so we could sit on pit lane and the bleachers there, right? So we're all day like eyeing up, okay, where are we gonna sit? And we started down at the end by the start gate, and that was like okay to start with, but then it's like, well, this is all boring shit. Like, this is one line, little S curves, whatever. So I'm like, oh cool, there's like the break in the fence where they come in, and then there's more bleachers down at that end by the supercross sections. Let's go sit down there, we'll be able to see more, right? Not knowing until literally the night show that, oh no, that's like, that must have been like industry seating or something, because we couldn't go there, because we went down to the end. We were going to turn around and walk back out. We asked the guy, we were like, hey, how do we get to those bleachers over there? And he's like, what tickets do you have? And I show him, and he's like, oh yeah, you can't sit over there. You can only sit in these or stand on the other side.
Yeah, there's a lot of whatever. In my opinion, for any Supercross,
Where did you sit?
I was right almost on the finish line, like second level, which sucked in my opinion. That's where we sit every year.
Were you over the fence or you were looking through
I
the
was
fence?
looking through the fence.
That I fucking hate
So-
too. We did that for qualifying.
So, in my opinion, for any kind of Supercross viewing, I don't know if you agree with this or not, Justin, but I'd rather sit nosebleed seats,
Yep.
man. I don't like, so I can see everything going on.
I sat
true.
nosebleed seat. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But I sat nosebleed seats in Indy 2010. I actually had rider seating, and I got to the stadium late. I don't know who I was with. It's the year me, Matt, and Paul went down. But like I distanced myself from them. They were going on with their thing, and I was a bunch of different people. And I got there late. So when I got there, like everything was filled up. So I had a couple other friends that were at the top. We went to the nosebleed. And to be honest with you, yeah, you're like all the way at the top. So it's a little hard to like if you're trying to watch somebody, you don't really know who it is sometimes. But like as far as being
The
able to
main
see
action
everything,
will be
yeah,
on the
you
giant
can.
jumbo
Yeah,
spot.
so you can see it. So I mean, I've had tickets all over. I've been low seat, middle. I've been box seats. I've been at the top, rider seating, and I would say that yeah, the nosebleeds. They're
Like-
probably
like club level is prime.
yeah.
Club level was way prime.
The coolest seats I ever had was box seats in Atlanta. That was
Box
pretty dope.
seats are awesome. I did that at Indy one year.
Yep.
And like I pretty much like to sit no matter where we go. I like to sit upper lower bowl or like second
Right,
bowl
right.
is where I like to sit because I'm like you guys. I want to be able to see it. And that was
and
what I
like
did like
Daytona?
about Daytona.
Same way. If you're up higher, you can see the whole thing.
Well, you know, for the casual fan that
But
wants
they
to
think it's
experience-
rad to be up close.
Yeah,
Yes.
they want to be at the bottom, and I'm like, dude, I don't want to be at the like unless you're all the way at the bottom row, and then you're just level with like the side of each face or whatever.
It's cool in practice.
But if you're at the bottom and then you're not the lower row, and somebody stands up, what are you fucking watching?
Dude,
Nothing.
and the other thing about Daytona too is if you put on a set of high heels and then just stand there for 3 hours, that's what it's like standing
on the track, dude.
On the
Oh,
track.
yeah.
So those people that are standing on the track,
I
good
salute
luck to
you.
you.
I
Yeah,
salute
I salute
you
you for
because I
standing
didn't want to
that
stand there for 10 minutes.
no.
See, and for
Oh.
me, I thought Daytona has always been kind of a bucket list race for me. But to be honest with you, I don't think I'll ever end up going there because of that situation.
Yeah, if I were you,
It's a bucket list race just because I think of all the other stuff going around it. You know. So
Now there was a lot of cool stuff with it as far as like the pits, walking down through the garages there. I thought that was fucking awesome.
yeah,
That was better than
And it's
any
free. You
pit
didn't have
party
to pay
ever.
for it or
Yep.
anything,
And then as far as seating goes, if you ever did want to go, the second level in the bleachers themselves on the track where you're up above the fence because the seating there is huge. Like it's super tall. So if you can get up above that, then you're golden.
Yeah.
So.
That's how I would say.
Why don't you two, because I've already given all my thoughts and I got a customer here right now, so why don't you two talk your thoughts on the racing at Daytona as far as like the 250s and 450s go here? Since
Yeah,
we've
you
got
kinda
a little
already
bit
gave
of
your
time.
thoughts on
Yeah,
it.
so you guys go talk about maybe like Marchbanks winning, the Smith and McElrath incident, how Sexton looks, because you and I should talk about Sexton at some point.
Yeah, we're gonna have to.
And yeah, the Kenny Eli thing. So you guys talk about them. I'm gonna go deal with this customer real quick. Boom, handle it.
I know what I saw.
Oh God, here we go.
As far as which topic do you want to talk about? Tell you
Start
about
the 250 class. Let's go. How do you think the track is?
Very one line. When I was watching press day, and even though they didn't hit the whoops because they never do on press day, the switchback section before the far side rhythm section before the tunnel, you knew that was if you had to drive on someone, you were going to stay tight because you really didn't have a lot of momentum coming out of that rhythm
I
section.
do want to point out, in the main,
Yeah.
Tomac was making a lot of time going.
The thing,
inside one.
yeah,
Like in the main, it ended up being different.
Yeah.
And if Kenny, I think, would have went to that inside one or on the outside,
Yeah.
He wouldn't have caught him as quick.
the only time I thought when you came out of that right-hander to go inside to outside was fast is if you were going to commit and try to three into the rhythm
Yeah.
section, because especially that outside rut was getting so square edge coming out of it that if you didn't, there was such, like I said, there was even a bike link, but because that rhythm section, like the timing was a little bit different, then to go on off, like a lot of guys couldn't get the second on, they were clipping it with the rear wheel, you were losing a lot of time. So yeah, I don't know, I mean, Daytona, if you really think about it, in this year they strayed away a little bit from the Supercross side compared to last year where there was like 30 frickin' rhythm sections, a little bit more old school.
Yeah.
It's always kind of one line because even though they have the big infield, they're very restricted. The dirt is always different, so they don't like guys chasing setups. But as far as the 250 class, dude, Garrett Marchbanks did not see that coming And we kind of talked about him a little bit at the beginning of the year, like
Yeah,
where
was
would he
gonna
be?
pretty good, but
But man, like, and I don't know if that part was an outdoor thing as well. Like, we know how good Garrett is outdoors, and he had his struggles and stuff. But like, dude, he was just on it. And you know, I was sitting at Matt's house, and we're watching the qualifier, and like J Mart, when he's pacing J Mart, and I'm thinking, oh, J Mart's gonna gap a little bit, get about 4 or 5 laps, and J Mart's gonna distance himself, settle in. And dude, when Garrett got around him, and he didn't drop him, but he just slowly started inching away. I was like,
in the heat.
I was like, wow.
That's impressive.
And then in the main, Chase, he was pacing him the whole time, and he closed up a little bit, and I think partly because Garrett got into lappers, and once again, the one-liness, and kind of just, hey, I'm trying to play it safe. This is the first time I've ever led a main. But then once they get a clear track, he gapped back out a little bit.
And another thing about it is he was super solid. You did not see a lot of mistakes out of Mark.
No, and that's partly.
In Sexton, you did see mistakes. So one spot I was watching in particular, I could see the back end. You couldn't really see it on TV how nasty the rut was.
Yeah.
But they had that off camber where Kenny went down there on the inside. Marchbanks was going to the outside every lap, so was Sexton.
Yep.
But Marchbanks was able to hammer through the rut and off and on.
Yep.
Where Sexton missed it like 3 laps in a row.
Garrett's biggest thing, and I actually had the pleasure of watching him a lot grow up through the amateur ranks because I had helped kids that raced him in like the 85s and did through schoolboy classes. So I've watched him for a long time, and it helps too as big as he is. But that kid has so much lower body control. Everybody thinks, oh, you're taller, you have more leverage. But if you watch a lot of guys that are tall, that doesn't always mean they have the lower body strength. But that kid, if you always watch him and stuff, he's always very tight to the bike. He's very, very tight.
I think you can say the same for Roxon.
Yes, the same. And Roxon's not tall. That's just
No.
it's just something that you
It's
learn.
just something they use a lot of lower body.
But if you watch him and stuff, like his hips are always straight with the bike. He's very controlled. And you watch him in the whoops. Like everybody that was struggling with those whoops, and I watched after the heat race, like how lit they were, and then that carnage that ensued with Gaines and Sexton, and I think Jace Owen was in there, and
that
other people.
was on Lee at yard sale.
Yeah, dude, Gaines got
got fucked up.
He got smoked.
He's very lucky for the injuries he does.
But even after they rolled him a little bit, like Garrett, even when that rut started forming, he was still trying to stay a little bit to the right side where they were like, he thought it was smoother. He never got loose in the whoops. Maybe one time the whole entire night, and you watch everybody else just back and forth. So I was really happy for him. Like I said, I'm not on the Garrett Marchbanks bandwagon, but dude,
that was cool to see.
And if he,
oh yeah, it was rad.
And we'll get into the other stuff going on moving forward, but like if you're looking towards like, hey, is this what he's going to look like outdoors? Dude, that's a guy that nobody really expected and stuff, and I think it helps that Tedesco is his riding coach. Yeah. Because with Tedesco, if anybody ever really watched him, like he didn't have the most natural talent, but what he didn't have a natural talent, he made up for it. He worked his ass off. Yeah. He worked his butt off, and I think he's kind of instilling all those same values into Marchbanks. Because you watch him, what did Garrett say at the first round? What was the first round? Tampa, right? Yeah. For the East Coast? He said, podiums wins. And then you watch him and you go out there and he's like kind of top 5, running 4th place, and you're like, wow, didn't see that really coming.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, I'm happy for the kid.
No, and he's only 17. There's a long way to go for him.
That's the thing that everybody forgets. It's like him,
he's a kid,
and Pierce Brown were all the same class growing up.
And Pierce is older than he is. Jalik, I think, is 17, but Pierce is like I think a year older than him. But if the one thing I did notice though, as tall as Garrett is, and we kind of talked about this with Smith. Have you noticed that Smith, who's a lot shorter than Marchbanks, how tall he looks on the bike, and you look at Garrett, and he looks that bike fits him perfectly.
Yeah,
I don't understand that. Like you would think with somebody of Garrett's size, who probably is the tallest kid in the 250 class, he looks like that bike fits him perfect. And then you watch Smith, and he's very tall. So I don't know.
Smith is.
Hey,
that's all.
Smith
Is Mitch Payton standing up out of his wheelchair and smacking him yet? Or
what? Dude, he has to be.
Well, no, dude, nobody's doing it. Smith ain't doing much. He blew his knee out.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
that whole situation though, like him and McElrath kind of got into it, and that was Smith's fault.
Well,
did you go back and all season?
Did you go back and watch the race though? Because Shane came in super hot in that first corner before the sand.
And Smitty let his emotions get a little bit.
But Shane knew he had to get moving.
Well,
you're correct though. He hasn't done anything all season.
As everybody that kind of thought that Kawasaki was going to be good for him, be on Mitch Payton's program and really be out, like bring out all the best things in Jordan like it was in his first year at TLD. And I'll be honest with you, he looked better on that KTM.
I'm looking at all these East Coast guys that got new programs. They're supposed to be rebirthed. They haven't been rebirthed. This is just who they are.
I don't know what.
RJ Hampshire. RJ Hampshire is kind of who he is.
Yeah, he's got a little bit better.
He's a little better, but this is who he is.
Yeah.
Yep.
And this is who Jordan Smith is.
Well, and the thing with Jordan is like I said, I just don't think that.
And I'm almost starting to think. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but I'm almost starting to think this is who Shane McElrath is.
Yes, thank you. We can go home.
Well,
show's over. I'm done.
Can we? Hey, hold on a second though. Can we talk about though how good he looked in that heat race?
How good he looked in practice,
Well,
race all fucking day, and then in the.
How much do you think though that incident with Smith though hurt him on those first 2 laps though?
Bro, that's called.
But he still couldn't run Jeremy Martin down.
No, he couldn't. But I think that once again though, Shane has always worked, and there's a lot of guys that do this, work better with a lead.
Yeah.
Can you? I don't think anybody was beating Marchbanks that night. I just don't.
Nope.
I don't think so. But can we honestly say though, with the way Shane rode in his heat race and even his lap times, and if you'd have put him, hey, he starts behind Garrett and he's with Chase and all those guys.
Hey,
I don't know if
You want to know when he was good that day? When the track was fresh. That was it.
Well,
you fucked that track.
yeah.
I know. It's true. It's true.
But Shane is not
It is
also.
true.
Let's be honest though. Saying that Shane doesn't ride rough tracks is stupid though, because look what he did at Butts Creek last
He
year.
won Muddy Creek pretty bad.
And he won. Yeah.
I'm not saying he can't ride rough tracks, but I'm saying, and outdoors is a completely different animal too. But I'm just saying, look at what it was.
I just think he works. He's one of those guys
He won.
Yes.
He works better from the
Track
front
was
to the back.
fresh.
Yeah, he doesn't work well pushing, which is really weird too. Once again, he's a very smooth guy, and he doesn't like to let his emotions get them. But I'm just saying, I think that, and I'm not saying that he would have beat Chase either. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying I think that if he would have got a better start and didn't get into it with Jordan and all that melee that happened ensued, I think that it would have been a different story. Once again, not saying he would have beat Chase. I'm not trying to say that. I'm just saying I don't think that would have happened the way it did.
For me, sitting there and watching it and seeing McElrath after watching him just annihilate practice, look really good, look great in the heat.
Yep.
And then even all that stuff happens in the first couple laps,
Yep.
and he's in 4th, got a little bit of a gap to J-Mart,
Yep.
a little bit more gap in front of him. I think he got passed at one point, didn't he? Or
Uh,
J-Mart passed Hampshire.
J-Mar passed Hampshire, and I feel like Shane passed Hampshire, and then RJ passed him back, and then Shane beat RJ, didn't he? Or no, did RJ?
No.
Okay, so he passed RJ, and then RJ passed him back.
I'm just sitting there, I'm just waiting. Like, when is he going to make up some time? And he never made up any time.
Think about his races this year. Tampa heat race, rips the Holy, gaps. Rips the main, gaps. Atlanta, got to start in the heat race, killed it. The 3rd main in Arlington, got to start, gapped everybody. His heat race in Daytona, gapped everybody, got to start. That's a common theme, and even the races that he won in the past, he usually started 1st or 2nd.
The only time I've seen him, only time I ever seen him come through the pack was Salt Lake City.
Yeah,
That's just
and it's not
that's just a flaw.
and that's not a
Keeps
bad
him
thing.
from being a champion.
And exactly, that's not a bad thing with Shane. So to say yes, that is who Shane is, but we also can't deny the fact that when he gets a start, what he does. There's guys in this sport that can work their way through the pack, and there's guys that can't. And Shane is one of those guys that can't. But also, it's not fair to him to say that, oh, if he would have got a start, he still would have got demolished. Yeah, he was going to get beat by Marchbanks, but you can't sit there and say that, oh, he would have just been running around in 3rd, 20 seconds back of Chase. Like, I don't believe that. Because let's be honest, Chase looked good in that main. He couldn't close the gap on Marchbanks, but Chase really wasn't outstanding the whole entire day. So to say that he would have gapped Shane if they just started together is ridiculous.
I thought J-Mart was going to be
The heat race, dude, the heat race, what happened?
You've been hating on Sexton all year. Look at where we're at.
What's your point?
He's won what, 2, 3 races out of how many have they done? 4?
Okay.
And he's got a 10-point lead.
No, he hasn't won. He won Atlanta and Arlington.
So he's won 2 out of 4.
Yeah,
so he's won 50% of the races.
Okay.
He's been on the box the other 2. What did he finish? Second and second?
Second,
No.
yeah.
He
Yeah,
had
second.
to. Yeah, he finished second to
Yeah.
Shane and
Okay.
second to Marchbanks.
Okay.
That's who he is.
And has a 10-point lead, and you're still hating it.
How's it hated?
You're still hating it. You were heating on him before the fucking season started, saying
I was.
he's not gonna repeat. There's no way.
Okay. Well, and now, I mean, I don't know how much we have left before we have. We
We
can
got-
just kind of get into it.
we'll go
We don't
ahead and
know.
open it.
Now we might not ever know if he was going to repeat.
Now we're just gonna do 5.
Yeah, now we're never gonna know.
Shootouts. I know.
And also,
But
Can I just point out, Travis and I saw the last Supercross of 2020 in person.
it's nice.
and can we also kind of state I think, well, it's not fact, but also, can we be honest? I think that none of those guys, after watching the rounds that we have, and as good as they've been, if we have the East-West shootout,
Oh,
I think Frenchie and Fortner annihilate them. I completely do.
I think Frenchie annihilates him.
I
I
think-
think Fortner does.
And he wants to talk about hating on Sexton.
Fortner doesn't have a 10-point lead and won 2 fucking races.
Because he's racing
the
Frank,
title
but he's
thing.
racing Frenchie.
He's still way behind
so you
because
will-
he can't keep it on 2 wheels. There's a completely different
What
fucking
is he talking
thing.
about? How many?
Sexton goes 2, 1, 1, 2.
Where did Fortner crash? How many?
And he's a piece of shit. Get
How
over
many-
there and
get a
hits the deck.
Hold on.
Get a testing kit. Can we test this man?
Hold on a second. How many crashes did Fortner have the last couple rounds of West Coast? None. Zero.
Okay,
Zilch.
okay,
The last
so-
time he crashed was
So,
the
for the
fucking.
last 2 rounds, he didn't hit the deck. My bad.
And what did
My
he get?
bad.
What did he get? He got second.
My bad. Okay, great.
And he was racing the fastest guy in 250 Supercross.
Okay, great.
And he was the same pace as him. So you're gonna sit there and tell me that if Fortner raced Sexton right now,
You know, I got a lot of time, so I'm going to go back, I'm going to look at all these numbers, and I'm going to write an article
I thought.
shitting
What
all
do you
over
mean? I thought business was cranking.
business is cranky.
So
you
you're
have
gonna
anything to do on
so
you're
Saturday.
but you're gonna sit there and tell me that you honestly believe that if Fortner and Sexton raced right now, that Sexton would beat him.
I think it's a pretty good race.
I don't think.
I don't
so.
think it's even
I don't
close.
think Sexton touches. Fortner.
I don't think it's even close.
All right.
I think Fortner and I think that Sexton beats Justin Cooper.
I think
So I think that he'd be the
downplayed
third guy.
Sexton way too much.
So wait a minute. Wait a minute. We all agree that Frenchie is the fastest guy in DVD Supercross, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so the last couple rounds of West Coast, Fortner and Frenchie, yes, Frenchie beat him, but Fortner was on the same level as him.
For
And-
8 for 10 minutes.
Okay,
Not
doesn't
bad.
matter. They're 15-minute mains, so it doesn't really matter. So what did he gap him? 4 seconds?
I don't know. I'm going to go back and find
Okay,
out
so
this
four-
week,
so
I
four
don't have a
fu-
race
so
to
four-
watch,
say
so I'm
4
going back.
seconds.
Okay, so 4 seconds. So how close do you think it'd be between Sexton and Frenchie then? You think Sexton's on his ass then? Because it don't get too much closer than 4 fucking seconds.
I see 8 to 10 seconds.
Exactly.
I don't know if I see
You
that.
talk about these numbers, you gotta look at the numbers. So if you're saying that Sexton is better than Fortner right now, and Fortner didn't get annihilated by Frenchie, then Sexton is literally right on his rear wheel at the finish?
All right, I'll give you a number. Sexton has a title.
Sexton doesn't have a title right
Drop
now.
the mic. I'm winning.
Sexton doesn't have a title right now.
Hey.
Is the Supercross
Does he-
series
does he have
finished?
number
Are you
one
talking
title?
about last year, or what are you talking
Yeah,
about?
he has a title overall. He doesn't have a title right now. The Supercross series is not finished.
Yeah, he's got number 1 plate.
And why did he get
Check
that number 1 title?
That check cash.
Why did he get that number 1
Because
plate?
your boy Fortner can't keep it on 2 fucking wheels.
I'm
That's
pretty
the
sure he
thing.
kept it on two wheels the last 3 rounds of Supercross.
Whoa.
And he got second.
Except for he didn't keep it on 2 wheels last year, and it cost
Are
him
we
the
going
title.
back to last year? What
It
are we
looks like
doing?
we're going back. We keep reverting.
I'm trying to tell you that, hey,
Are we talking about this year or last year? Like I'm.
your
I don't know.
boy, your boy, how many points back is he?
I don't know. When's
Is
the last time I
he in
watched?
second or is Cooper in second?
I don't know.
He's
I
in
forgot what
second.
Supercross
He-
is. What is Supercross?
I'm pretty sure that he annihilated Justin Cooper like the last 4 rounds of West Coast Supercross. So, oh, and by the way, can we talk about how wrong you were on that one too?
The Justin Cooper thing?
Yeah, Justin Cooper, and I tried to sit there and tell you that Justin Cooper is not that great in
We
Supercross.
won 2 races and been on the box.
we.
almost
Why do you
every
keep
one.
saying we?
Yeah, he keeps saying we like he's in
are
his
doing
camp.
just fine.
Yeah, no, he's
Yeah,
not. He got his ass
second
handed to him after having the points lead. And he lost to a guy that apparently can't keep it on 2 wheels.
But he
yet that-
can!
But
How many has he crashed out of this year?
He
Two?
crashed out. He didn't crash out. He didn't DNF 1 race this year.
Okay, so he crashed and got fucking 18th. My bad. He finished the race at 18th.
And I'm pretty sure he was ahead of Justin Cooper when he did that even.
18th.
And he's ahead of him though in
So
the
he's
points.
crashed out at 2?
But is he ahead
He's
of him?
still
in the
ahead of him
points?
in the points.
Yeah, it's all
So
that
he's
matters.
crashed out at
But he's
2?
ahead of him in the points.
And now we're not going to have any more rounds for
Yeah, and actually, how far back was he when they go after that happened? I'm pretty sure he was like 15 points back in Justin Cooper, and then he beat the shit out of him, and then all of a sudden he's ahead of him in points.
But
so
I will give Cooper something.
I won't.
It's only Cooper's second year, too.
He has.
And how many races did Fortner completed in a Supercross
I will give
season?
Cooper something. The last few races, he got shit starts and
Yeah.
made his way to third.
Okay, I will agree with you, but the last race, or what was it, the second to last race that they all started close, he got dropped.
He did.
So
Okay.
he's not in that level.
Hold on. We got to reset the camera here. So we're going to take a pause. We're going to look up the points on this West
Are we
Coast.
going right into 450 talk?
And we'll be right back. No, we're going to continue this 250. We'll be right back. Okay, so we're back at it here. We're still... What?
Shoot. I was talking about the jersey I won.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the Josh Hansen one?
Anybody want to buy a Josh Hansen jersey? Going once, going twice.
$150.
Donate on Patreon.
Slide into my DMs.
Okay, so some statistics for you here. Number 1, you were wrong.
Okay.
Okay, Austin Forkner is in third. He is 13 points behind Dylan Ferrandis.
Well, yeah, we knew he was behind Dylan.
Justin Cooper still in second.
Okay.
How many points is he behind? 10?
He is No, so he's got 128, so he's 7.
Okay.
7 points out. So he's
Okay.
technically...
He's really not that far out of it.
It ain't gonna happen anyway, though. He got, like I said, he got smashed those last couple rounds. So unless Frenchie goes back to getting bad starts, we hadn't had one in 3 rounds.
That could be, because we're going to have a lot of weeks
I will
off
give
here.
it Frenchie. He did figure his starts out.
Yeah,
He did, but we'll see, because now we're like resetting the season here by the time we're back. So
Well, if we even finish the season. So.
yes. So anyway, yeah. So that means Sexton is still.
I'm looking at.
I honestly think you have coronavirus. If you think Sexton is
I said
anywhere,
not to say it on the show, bro.
I said
19.
coronavirus, not COVID.
God, Jesus, we
Here
just
go.
said it.
Now we're demonetized for sure.
Point is that anybody can watch those races and look at it that Sexton is not faster than Frenchie and Fortner. He wasn't last year. He's not this year. You can say that he's faster than Justin Cooper. That's fine.
We are different people this year.
You are not different people
He's
this
filled
year.
out.
I gotta side with Justin. I don't think
He's
Sexton's
solid.
anywhere near those two.
No, he's not. He wasn't last year, and he's not this year. You can say you know what? You can even go inside and say that he's not racing as stiff a competition. That is completely fine, and I have no problem with saying that Shane and RJ and J-Mart and all those guys are not as good as them.
You want to know what he's got that those two don't? A 450 contract.
Yeah,
I
those
would
guys
say
have
Frenchie's
450.
got one.
And I'm saying Fortner's got a 450 contract.
Yeah.
They don't have to have. They don't
soon
have to
as it's-
sign it unless they decide to retire right now.
Tomac ain't re-signing his shit, and that's where Fortner's going.
Yeah, and you know what? Chase Sexton can have.
No way, bro. Tomac's gonna come back till he wins like 6 Daytonas. All right.
Chase can have that 450. That
Take
450
two more.
contract.
Maybe he's finally gonna win the title this year.
Yeah.
Maybe due to default.
We can say he has that 450 contract, but we'll see what happens come outdoors.
Okay, so
Well, speaking of 450s,
yeah, let's get into
wanna
that here.
Sure.
What's going on?
Sure.
You want to talk about Atlanta?
Oh well, that the fact that Kenny demolished him.
Well, that and what
Which
do
one is
you
awesome?
make of the Barsha Tomac situation?
Dude, I've talked to Matt about this a million different times.
Jesus,
I don't think.
I can't even imagine. I want
Actually, you know what? We were both. He actually kind of sided. Well, I don't know if you want to say he sided with me or I sided with him. We're kind of on the same thing. Like when I watched that, when you're sitting there watching in real time, I think everybody kind of knew what Eli was going to do. He was panicking because he knew that Barsha, if he left the door open, he was going to get cleaned out.
Oh, yeah?
And Tomac rushed it. He rushed
that
it.
pass on Baggett.
Yeah, and everybody's like, oh, Baggett turned down on him. Like, dude, Baggett had like 2 or bike length and a half on him. It's not his fucking responsibility to watch what's going on behind him. He didn't turn down into Eli. Whatever. You can say, oh, he turned down tighter in that corner than most people.
I said, that's exactly what I saw.
He
He's like,
rushed
"Fuck,
it.
Barsha's on my ass." I was like, "Barsha's gonna kill him."
He rushed it. He got ahead of himself. But I'll also say that he did something that last year and years previous, Tomac, he didn't implode. He did not implode. He worked his way
did have
through.
some gifts.
He did. The fact that Dino clipped, or Ando clipped Dino, they stalled underneath the tunnel, and Martin faded like a cheap suit.
Or Anderson stalling it and piling Freezy and Wilson up.
Yep. So
There's 2 easy spots right there.
yeah, and kind of like in the St. Louis thing when Zacho went down and somebody else went down at the end of that main. So yes, he did get some gifts, but
Yeah, we did go down.
he's got a lot of wees. Like he must have a lot of connections.
Who's we? Like who
And
are you?
you got a wee with Chase Sexton. You got a wee with Justin Cooper.
Zach?
You got a wee with
Who?
Zach Osborne. Yeah, who's Zach Osborne? Like he's irrelevant this year.
We are out right now.
Yeah, he's irrelevant.
Yeah,
who's Zach
that
Osborne?
train went downhill quick.
Yeah, he's irrelevant. You better jump off that train too. If
All I
Osborne
can
happens.
hear playing when I see him ride is going
God, I hate
down
that.
in a blaze of
Justin
glory.
called it.
I called that.
It's been a bad
Yeah.
year for us.
He will,
But-
he will show flashes of speed though.
We will rebound.
Really? When he's 35?
We will rebound. Dude, look at Chad Reed. He fucking hole-shotted lead for the first
He
5
led
feet.
for
Zach
first
Osborne-
500 feet.
Zach Osborne is also not Chad Reed.
Well, that is also true. But we are on a solid program. And
Yeah, we'll see what
will
happens.
make a comeback.
We'll see what happens outdoors. We'll see what happens outdoors.
We are going to be solid.
But is
Not
there going to be
really.
an outdoor series?
Well, yeah. As far
We
as
don't
everybody
know that
knows.
yet.
Redbud's going to be there at least.
Yes.
Anyway, so yeah, I'm on the same page. He rushed the pass, but how like the fight after?
Dude, they were going at it. They were
That was
going at
awesome.
it. Barsha's voice cracked like 10 different times.
Like this year?
This year?
Have you ever made a clean pass and you're
I
like, this
thought it was
is
funny.
good.
Like Tomac goes to get a drink of water, and he's just like fucking. It's just. I thought the conversation was over, and he thought he got him with a zinger at the end, and it was the most shitty delivered thing ever. It's like, hey, you got something to lose too.
I was waiting to see it boil over at Daytona, and we never really got the chance to. But no, that race. I mean, there was a lot of stuff going on. But Kenny got a start, and he just gapped everybody.
Didn't even see him on TV.
No, I don't know. And then Daytona.
Oh man, that hurt.
You know,
That hurt. That hurt us.
That hurt us.
That hurt us.
That's
the collective us. That hurt.
I don't know. I mean, I think everybody kind of figured that if Eli was starting anywhere to the top 5, no matter who was out front, that he was going to have a good shot at winning that race. But, you know.
Dude, like Kenny was just talking about how bad he wanted that race.
Yep.
And he got the start, gapped, had 12 seconds at one point.
Yeah.
Like,
but he also talked about.
Man, that's tough.
He also talked about in the interview afterwards. I can't remember if it was on the broadcast or.
That's his best finish ever.
But he was, well, not even that, but he was talking about like he feels like in the middle of the race he just settled too much. His heart rate came down and he just wasn't, he didn't have that energy, and then when he tried to pick it back up, everybody knows when you drop your heart rate like that and that blood's not pumping as much, like it's just, you can't just pick that shit back up, even with it being as somebody as talented as Kenny.
Which I will give him that too. He hasn't been in that situation though.
No. Anytime he's gotten to start this year, I mean, he's usually gapped.
And has enough to where he can bring his heart rate down like that.
So I get it.
Well, and the only thing is like, so I was sitting right there where he made that mistake.
Mm-hmm.
All he did
I think
was,
if he didn't make that mistake, we might be having a different conversation.
I think we are too. Because all it was he stuck his foot out a split second too early, and they had that inside built up there, and it just caught him, pulled him off the bike. That was all there was to it. I mean, I've heard him, whatever he said, it was a little different than that, but I'm like, bro, I sat right there and watched you, and I know, like, in race, your memory's different than, like, people who are calmly sitting there. And, like, I sat literally right there, I was watching that section because that was where I was at, and I'm like, oh shit, there goes his foot. Yeah.
Well, I honestly think, like, the way the passing was on that track, I mean, all of Tomac's passes were kind of handed to him kind of deal. He didn't work too hard on them.
No.
Kenny was going to make him work for that.
Yep.
And to say Tomac wasn't riding the edge, you're high.
Well,
here's what I'm saying. I think
And he stuck with him those last 2 laps.
Yeah.
as much as I want to say that, yeah, I think the conversation might have been different, in the sand section there, Tomac was going all the way to the right-hand side.
Kenny switched his line, though. I watched
Yeah,
it.
he did. But if he, for some reason, went back outside, though, dude, it was all over. Because that far inside there, for some reason, it was just smooth. And you could see, you can watch on the broadcast, too. Tomac would go over that thing and just, boom, take off like a rocket ship. It was almost like the sand wasn't as deep or something.
well, kind of like we were talking about with the rhythm section before the tunnel, like when Eli was going to the outside, that at the beginning of that main, he was not getting the 3. And I'm sitting there watching him going, why does he keep going outside? Like, he's not getting the drive. He's dropping into that rut, and he's kind of pivoting out of it. So the back end's getting loose, and he couldn't go, and then he started going outside to inside. And he started making up some of those passes and stuff, and that's where I think that's the same spot that he got Anderson. And I can't remember exactly where he got Webb. But, yeah, you watched him, and then Kenny even picked up later in the main when that rut started. I think that rut was just all the way dropped.
They were so deep, like walking the track after, like in that corner, there were little kids laying in the rut and their parents were taking pictures of them.
But I do believe, and I guess that we can kind of just transition into our thoughts on the series moving forward and all this stuff going on. And we talked about this in the group text, that if Kenny had any idea that possibly could have been either the last race or one of the last races, not saying that once again he would have beat Eli, but that race is going a lot different. Kenny is doing a lot more to try to make that pass. He's being a little bit more aggressive with him. And
he's not letting himself settle.
No, and he also stayed with Eli. It's not like when Eli got around him, he dropped him. Like even he put like 2 seconds on him. Kenny closed it back up.
Yep.
We might have seen a side of Kenny that we don't normally see. He maybe is running Eli a little bit wider in corners. He's not switching up his line. He's going to try to follow him through and put a wheel on him. And just I don't know. I hope that that's not the last race.
Yeah.
But
you guys also got to think on Eli's side too. If he knows it's the last race,
he might have imploded at that point because he's
think?
probably rushing.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he would have, but he probably is rushing it a little bit more, and we see the old Tomac. I don't know, but
let us know what you guys think. Like that's an interesting topic. I think. Like let's say that was the last round, and if they knew it was the last round, how would it be? You know?
Well, and I guess we could just talk about it. 5 rounds in 2 weeks. That's what we've all kind of heard. And I know that people will see this tomorrow on Tuesday. We're filming this Monday, but...
All right, so let's just put out there the information that everyone already knows right now. So Indianapolis canceled, Detroit canceled, Seattle canceled, Foxborough canceled,
and Colorado.
And Denver canceled. So as of right now, the only 2 we have left that we know of are Vegas and Utah, and that's just depending upon. I mean,
BS.
Like they've all been talking about. This is beyond Feld's control, beyond our control.
Yep.
This is all on state, local governments, and federal governments at this point that's closing shit down.
Yeah.
So anyway, the rumor mill is flying right now, and no one has any solid answers. So what we've been hearing is lots of double headers, maybe even 5 races in Vegas
In 2 weeks.
in two weeks,
Which is terrible.
to finish this out,
That's
and
the last
then
stadium I'd want
two in Salt Lake.
That's the last place I'd want to have. 5.
AC's pumped because he likes Vegas.
Yeah.
Kyle Cunningham's pumped with
Eli
the
likes
shoulder
it.
deals.
Frenchie probably is going to have good karma going in after what happened last year.
Eli is good in Vegas. which-
Yep.
yeah.
Kenny, we've never really seen in a position to go into Vegas where it's mattered, so we don't really have any good info on that. I mean,
I'm worried about Kenny in Vegas because he's never performed.
and I've been to Vegas a lot, and I've been to that stadium, and I've watched the final round quite a few times, and that is not a place that I would want to say, hey, we're gonna have 5 races here in 2 weeks. Because that's the thing. The stadium is big, but with all the different angles and the way that all the machinery has to come in and out, and the way they have to build the track, there's not. You can have a long track, but there's not a lot of variation that you can do with it. That it's going to be like, oh, we're going to test these guys for 5 rounds in 2 weeks. And once again, I haven't paid attention to what the weather's been like in Vegas and stuff, but it's still usually pretty warm at this point in the year, or just starting to get
The
warm.
dirt's just sitting there baking.
It's not, and with all the wind, you're not going to be up. It's not the place. I've never really been comfortable with Vegas being the final round because the dirt sucks. But
Well,
now
lucky
you're
for you, they changed that.
Well,
this
Salt
year.
Lake City ain't much better.
well, if Salt Lake's not the final round, though, it's not going to matter this year.
Salt Lake's gonna be the final round. There isn't a chance in hell that Salt Lake is
I mean,
letting
they're
it
at least
go.
going to be doing doubleheader. I think at 1 at each round, I would imagine, right?
Well, none of us really know.
Then
You could say that, but we don't know that.
Yeah. We don't know anything.
Salt Lake has too much money in the game for it not to be the final round.
But if if state comes down and say you can't do it, there's nothing they can do about it.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. So if we race again,
Yeah.
okay, Salt Lake is going to be the last round. Whether we go 1 more round, we go 7 more rounds, whatever, the last round is going to be in Salt Lake. Salt Lake dumped a bunch of money into Feld and a bunch of money into the series and a bunch of money into advertising to have that last race spot and be able to advertise that they're going to have
The
it.
only thing I can think of is that they have 3 of those. If they're trying to do 5 rounds, 3 of the races in Vegas. So you're doing 1 midweek, and then you're doing a doubleheader, and then you're doing a doubleheader in Salt Lake. And I know that if anybody's listened to the last podcast that Mathis, Weege, and JT had, they talked about this. And a doubleheader for Supercross, they did this a lot in the 90s. They did this a lot for a lot of years. Race Saturday, race Sunday. Supercross is not as taxing on the guys. Maybe some of the privateers, it's a bigger thing, but it's not as taxing. But
I don't know. Those Triple Crowns look pretty
well,
tracksy.
it's going to be crazy if you're somebody who's in a position to possibly win a title or get further along in the points that's going to affect your contract. That's a lot of pressure on somebody. Hey, I'm racing. Now the final race is the next day, and then you're staying in that place longer, and you're dealing with all the different, because people aren't thinking. A lot of people think about just the racing side of it. Well, now you're talking about all
logistics.
Now you're talking about all the other stuff that goes in through a rider's head, the team's head. Now we're putting more hours on bikes and different parts and stuff. For the engines, it's not that big of a deal. But now you're putting more stress on these guys. And if you're somebody like Kenny and Eli, who are literally in a 3-point battle for the championship, 2 guys that, let's be honest, haven't really been in this situation in their entire career. We can talk about Eli's gone down to Crawfordsville the last couple of years. Mathematically, yes, but let's be real. We all kind of knew that Eli was going to win those championships. There was too much of a gap between him and Marvin. These 2 have never had to deal with winner take all. Winner take all on the points. And also, as much as it pains me to say about Kenny, we don't really know mentally.
Where he's at.
And with Eli, we know. We know the mental game, he's gotten better this year, isn't his strong suit. Who says these guys don't implode in a situation like this? I mean, it's hard for us to believe that 2 of the best guys in the world that would happen, but it's a conversation.
Yeah, and then there's a mentally strong guy in third that I think
Cooper
can handle
Webb.
it all.
Exactly. Well, yeah, he's proven it.
He can handle it.
Yeah.
29 points up.
No, I think that,
That's
I don't know about
that
you,
is
but
a
I'm not talking about as far as the championship, but you're
Yeah.
talking about a guy that's going to thrive.
Yeah.
And if they're doing, now I don't know, man.
Coop he's winner take all in Vegas with a broken wrist.
Yeah, he doesn't really
He's done
care.
it a couple times.
Yeah.
So I don't know who would your bets be on if you're talking about doubleheader, last race of the year? It's 3 points or tie.
Kenny.
Okay. But
In Vegas?
no, if it's
I'd
in
say-
Salt Lake. If it's in Salt
I
Lake.
don't know. I think AC gets the win.
Well, yeah, that's true too.
I don't know. I can't say it because I would like to say that Kenny is mentally stronger than Eli, but Kenny's never been in this situation. All of his championships, he's usually wrapped up early.
Yeah.
I think Kenny, as best way I can say this, has a little bit better mental fortitude though.
I guess you could say
as
that.
far as like he's gonna think like I have to be in the best position I possibly can be, and also we've seen when there's a pressure cooker situation like this, Eli throw it away.
Okay, so what
So
happens?
Kenny is
He's more built for it.
wants to do better, but at the same time knows, well, maybe if I just sit here in second, like say Eli's running away with it, he's gonna hit the deck at some point. There's the probability's higher.
There's another thing that I want to bring up too.
Oh boy, okay, go ahead.
Guys. I think if it comes down to it, and they have to play the dirty game, I don't think Kenny can do it.
I don't think Eli can do it either, though, because
think
look
Eli
at
I was gonna say,
wow.
Eli
250.
can ride dirty.
So wait, hold on. Does Barsha just come out, saw off both their front wheels, and just take this?
250,
Or what?
250 Eli, maybe, because we all know what he did to Dino all those years ago. But let's be honest, when is the last time you've seen Eli try to pass somebody aggressively in the 450 class
And not go
actually
down
sit?
himself?
Cooper Webb,
Yeah.
Blake Baggett most recently.
Cooper Webb, Daytona.
So we
He
can't
Tried taking
sit.
Chad Reed out.
Welcome
can-
to the 450
Well, and
class,
look what he
kid.
tried to do Dunge. He tried to run Dunge off the track, and that only had, like, he only succeeded one time, and it didn't really
He wasn't
matter.
doing anything other than racing forward in that race.
I,
There was nothing happening.
There was
other
no
than him
forward
racing.
racing in that.
okay,
Other
so,
than him racing
okay,
forward.
and we're playing a lot of hypotheticals right now, but we talk
We
about
are.
this.
It's
and-
bench racing, son.
And I'm trying to, and I'm not trying to say that because I picked Kenny to win this title, so I want him to win this title, and I just like him. But what happens if, play the other side of that, Eli's ahead of him, but what happens if Kenny gets a shit start and he's running ninth?
If Kenny wins this title, isn't it appropriate for me to put a big number 1 on my Honda and run it all year?
no.
That's totally acceptable.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
acceptable.
All right.
Red background and all.
Yeah.
All right, so anyways,
Okay.
I was letting him have it. Just don't judge me.
I would take your jersey and put Spode on the back.
If Kenny,
Still running that number 1. I don't care.
if Kenny gets a ninth place start and Eli's just ahead of him, doesn't matter where he is, he's ahead of him. We know how Kenny is with all the injuries he's had. Is he saying throw that out the door and I don't give a shit? I want the Supercross title. I will
think
do
at this
whatever.
point, yeah. How
Yeah.
bad does he want it?
Yeah.
Well, it's creeping in his mind that he's been injured a lot, and we've seen him this year settle, take the points. And I know it's for a title and it's something he doesn't have yet, but are we really willing to say that he's willing to throw everything out the door?
How old is he?
25?
About my age.
24,
so
25?
25, 26. He's still got a lot of time.
He's still
left.
got 4 or
25.
5 years. Eli's only got another year or 2.
No, I'm not talking about the contract. I'm
No,
talking
no,
about
no, no,
everything.
no, 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 no. What I'm saying is,
Possible to win a championship?
yeah,
Yeah.
he may just go, second this year's good.
Would you guys fault him for that?
Nope.
I don't know if I would.
Because now it's a fucked up.
I would.
Well,
I would hate to fault him, or like, I guess I don't even know what I'm saying right
It's-
now, but because I'm a Kenny guy, so
Yeah.
I start to be a little biased. Like I would love to see him win a title,
Yep.
but then on the other side of things is like, he's been through a lot of shit, man. The second is, would for me, if I were in that situation, a second would probably feel like a win.
Mm-hmm.
And that dirt,
What did he get last year? 3rd in points?
yeah, because Marv
Yeah.
got second.
I mean, Eli's gotten second in the points enough in Supercross, right?
No, he got no. Did Marv get third? Did Marv beat him in the points last year?
No, Marv was out early because of the knee, wasn't he?
No.
Marv missed around from.
Oh yeah, maybe he did get third because Eli got second, right?
Yeah.
Got.
Yeah, Eli got second. Of course he did.
I know. So
Come on now.
and also you got to play in whether it's a Salt Lake, Vegas, whatever. Talking about the dirt. That dirt is not
That's not
conducive
a
to
Kenny
trying to
dirt,
push the
man.
pit. It's good. Kenny's good on the hard stuff. We've seen it, but that's not good dirt that you want to in a 20-minute main.
And push the pace.
Push the pace real hard. I don't know. It's a lot of ifs and a lot of hypotheticals and stuff, but
So I have some fun facts.
And it just either way, whatever goes down, it's gonna be interesting. And as shitty as the situation is, and everything that's going on right now, pretty awesome as a fan, just for the wrench in the works to just see what happens. You know.
Mm-hmm.
well, I'm still curious, and Mathis brought it up. What happens to the 250 East guys? Is their series just
Oh,
done?
no.
What are they going to do? Are
Okay,
they-
so let's
gonna
go
be-
back to that
I think
rule.
it's
Is
gonna
it 70% done?
So okay, so it's 70% is what you have to run. So for anyone who doesn't know, there's this obscure rule in the AMA rule book. They have to run 70% of a series to be considered a championship. I heard it on this podcast called Main Event Schmoto.
Main event moto, Daniel Miller.
Today. And so anyway, so I just ran some quick math, and I know you said something like, oh, they got to do 15 rounds or something. It actually, if they do 12 rounds of the 17, is technically 70.5 something percent.
So wait a minute though.
So they could literally just do Vegas and just one round at each one, and,
So what about-
and still technically get away with it.
What about West Coast though? Because they've ran 6 rounds, but they actually run a total of
10?
10 or yeah.
So
10
they
rounds.
only got to run one.
Okay, so what are we doing? Are we doing in Vegas? Are we calling that an East race, and then the final race is the East-West shootout?
It almost have to be.
It could be. Yeah.
You know how much that's really going to screw up people mentally?
Oh, dude.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's one thing you're a 450 guy. You've been doing this a lot longer. Mentally, you're a little bit stronger.
Those
but some
little
of
kids are going to be hitting the deck.
these 250, and that's another thing, man. Like, that's why as much as we just talked about, Sexton's got to hold on the 250 East and French. We can't get.
Don't worry. We have this, okay? We are new people this year.
I cannot guarantee that any one of those guys has got this on lockdown. And I don't think. So what is it? It's 10. How many points? Sexton's
I
10
think
to
Frenchie's
McElrath,
good.
right?
I mean, West Coast, he's good. Frenchie,
Well,
maybe.
yeah. I mean, he did win last year. We know that AC had his issues, and Frenchie was out front. Once again, you're talking about Frenchie's never been in a situation like last year. He didn't think he was going to win this title. Let's be all honest.
Right.
He didn't. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here and bench race, but like we don't know what Frenchie's mindset's going to be. He's probably going in thinking, "Oh, I got this under control. I got those guys covered." Now the last race of the year is East-West shootout, and it actually matters. I don't know. I can't guarantee that.
He only has a 7-point lead.
Yeah, and I'm not talking Cooper. I'm not talking Ford. I don't know who would capitalize on that because maybe they all implode.
He has a 7-point lead to a consistent guy, and so if he doesn't pull start, all of a sudden his championship titles start.
Well,
going
what
down.
happens if
They go
Cooper
down.
pulls an AC in the middle of the main? His guys start saying, "You got this in the bag," and he. Because Justin Cooper's never won anything. I mean, he's young, so it's only. But he's never won anything.
No,
He's never been in that
One of the
situation.
Redos even.
No, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying, he.
And we know Fortner on the way he gets. So it's like, dude, you're talking about guys that have never really had to be in this situation before.
Greatest thing ever for us.
It is.
As fans.
And
As fans, it's rad. For those guys,
no, not so much.
not for those guys. But I also want to point out, like, these guys are sitting at home and they're getting some recharge time, which is great.
Yes, the 450 guys especially.
450 guy, like, when have these guys ever had a break like
And
this?
Cooper Webb needs this more than anybody, in my opinion. He
Yeah.
really does. So I don't know. I like.
Did you hear he dislocated ribs at like
Yeah.
Atlanta or something?
Yeah, I was hearing that.
Fucking insane.
Well, and also they're trying to figure out with 19 going around the whole 250, 200. There's a bunch of different numbers out there. Did you hear Weege say that with the teams, the camera crews, and everybody, you're going to be over 250 no matter
Oh,
what?
yeah.
And
Yeah,
even
yeah.
making the comment about just being a 22 rider, top 22 in points in the 450 class,
Yeah.
and both classes for that fact.
But from
Like
what
more
I've
than
heard,
250 people easy.
So what? So are you just telling all the guys that aren't? No, sorry, you guys can't compete. Like you're going to have to.
but see the thing is, Nevada still doesn't have that. Nevada
Yeah.
still doesn't have
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
I gotta imagine.
I
that.
don't think that's going to happen.
I honestly think it's going to take a federal government lockdown to do that because think about it. If they go to
And I
that,
hate to say it, I think that's coming.
And we're not trying to get
It could
political on
be.
the show.
But
It's just kind of the.
I'm just saying, if think about it with Nevada, because Main Event Moto is the one that made me think about this and pointed this out this morning when I was listening to it. If they do that, that state's shut down. What does
Yeah.
that state run on? Casinos
Betting.
and entertainment. If you do that, I mean,
Okay, so Vegas, but
Wrap
Salt
that
Lake.
state
They
up.
shut down Vegas casinos already.
Yeah, MGM is closing some of their casinos.
MGM is.
Yeah.
I would say,
I don't know about the
because
other ones.
They haven't as of what I've
Okay,
heard
so
yet.
Vegas. So it doesn't happen in Vegas, but Salt Lake, your last round,
Yeah.
you can't come. You can't go.
There's only 250 people in the entire state of Utah, so it's totally fine, all right?
I just
there
wa-
isn't shit there.
And you know, I guess we kind of touched on that. So I guess we can talk about what's kind of happening moving forward. Like what?
Well, let's take a break and restart it because we only got like 5 minutes left on the thing here, and then we'll wrap this up in a nice bow and call it a day. So we'll be right back. We're back.
All right.
Okay, so
Okay.
to wrap this up with a nice bow. So going forward, where are you?
Whoa.
Oh, buddy, calm
It's
down.
all right.
You need a mag?
Yeah. So we already kind of covered it. Where are we at? I mean, we don't know anything right now. We don't know when we're racing, how many
Well, the
we're racing.
only thing we know is that I feel bad for the MXGP guys because they were
Yeah.
supposed to have a race next weekend. That got postponed. Two of their other rounds in France and Italy, I think Italy was the other one, got postponed. So now they have like 55 days before their next race in May. And then, which I think, and we talked about this, and this is terrible for guys like us who are, well, maybe not you after what happened last year, but diehard motocross guys compared to supercross. MX of Nations might not happen now because that's in the end of September. Now for the GP guys, there's 2 rounds aren't happening till the end of October, and then their last round is not till November. So
Well,
I can't see it happening.
I can't see it happening for the U.S. guys,
Yes.
but the GP guys, It's just another weekend for
I was
them.
gonna say it's gonna.
I know, but then at that point, it's not even worth having because, like, I know that in the years past, we didn't go after 9/11. We didn't go in there. I think it was like 1991
Yes,
or
we as the U.S. bring a lot.
we
of
didn't
eyes.
go. So for them, it's still going to be a big deal. But you're taking away a lot of viewership because a lot of Americans watch. Are they just going to sit there and go? And I can't see Giuseppe doing this, but are they just going to sit there and go? If Americans say we're not going this year, are they going to go off with the race? And there's going to be a lot of guys that if they're in the heat of a battle, points wise, going into that race, we got 3 more rounds. Why?
They're all gonna race it.
No, I do not believe that. I completely
They all race these other championships.
That's before the season, though. Some of these guys stop right before when the season starts.
I
They
also
stop.
heard stuff about finishing Supercross rounds at the end of outdoors, which I don't
Well,
think would ever happen. But if
That is a rumor, but the
if
problem
that is the case, you can really kiss MXM.
I just
for that.
for a second, as far as the MXGP guys, though, if you're Hurlings, if you're Geyser, if you're some of those kids in the 250 class like Tom Viel and Iago Garrett, if you're in the middle of a championship and you say I have 3 more rounds to go, they're not going to race it. It's not happening. There's no way. So you're talking about a lot of the top guys like Gauthier Paulin and Jordi Tixier, some of the guys from the French, Glenn Koldenoff. They'll race it, but you're going to miss so many of the top guys. They're like, no, we're not going to do this.
I have a hard time believing they won't.
You really think that if Hurlings has another shot at the title, and you tell me I have to race 3 more rounds? No, not happening, dude.
I don't
Not
think
happening.
so,
It's an Eli Tomac situation. It's not going to happen. But now we also kind of have to talk about.
Let's put it this way: I'll be more surprised if those guys don't go than if the U.S. does go.
I don't think they would go. To them, it's still a bigger deal than us, the MX
You got to
Nations,
think
but
of them. MXGP, their series, is like worth as much as the Supercross here.
Yeah.
In the MXON, like,
well aware.
and we also
doesn't mean shit to them.
And we also talk about how because even though their series is longer, they don't do Supercross, so it's a lot different. A lot of people don't know these guys. They do a lot of their testing in November, and December, and January. So yeah, maybe they're not doing Supercross. So you're telling, I got to race all these races, finish my last round in November, and then now I have to go do testing? No, it's not going to happen. So, but question, the Nationals. We talked about this a little bit before we went on camera. That if Hangtown and Glen Helen get pushed back.
No, I've heard the first 3.
Okay,
Count
so
Glen
and then Thunder
Helen
Valley.
and Colorado. But
Get pushed back?
The rumor right now is that if this continues past the next week or 2 here, that they're going to the end of this series.
So we're looking at June before our season starts. Then that's basically kind of because the first 3 rounds
Yes.
are in May. No, Thunder Valley's June, usually first weekend of June, right?
Yeah.
All right.
That'll be close.
So our season gets pushed back, and we get further into the year. Monster Cup's not happening. And what about all these guys that make their transition from different teams? Their big testing is in the fall seasons.
I mean, Monster Cup might happen, but there ain't gonna be any big name guys there, I don't think.
And that's the thing. If you're somebody, even with Eli, as many championships he's won, if he's going for a 4P, if you're Kenny, if you're Webb, if you're one of these 250 guys, and you're saying championship outdoors, race bullshit
Cup.
Monster Cup, not happening. Not
Well,
racing
Monster Cup will still be after you.
So when are you gonna have it?
Just
November?
double the workload, like
Yeah.
Yeah. This is going to screw, and like I said, what about all these guys that are there's a lot of guys in contract year right now.
What about Red Bull Straight Rhythm? Kiss that one goodbye.
That one's goodbye. And like I said, you're some of these guys that are in contract year. You're somebody like Dean Wilson. You're somebody like Aaron Plessinger, Justin Barsha. All these 250 guys that are on the last year. of
They're
their
trying to
contract.
perform in the series. The Monster Cup ride isn't going to give them a ride.
And it's going to screw them as far as going forward, testing on new bikes, getting deals done. Because if you're saying, our outdoor series is still going on past September, like what are we doing? So this whole situation is.
When's the last round? When's Crawfordsville? Isn't that like the third?
It's the last week of August. It's the last weekend of August. All right.
So you're maybe gonna go.
So now you're going another month. You're going to the September, going in October.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're.
It's going to be interesting.
And who?
But the thing about it, you got guys going to a new team and stuff.
Yeah.
They're all going to be on a level playing field.
Well, who else do we know is on contract here in the 450 class right now? Barsha Plessinger, Dino,
Bogle's probably gone.
Bogle is Baggett re-upped. What about Zacho? Has he got another year with Husky?
Hey, your guy, what's he
Travis.
got?
What?
Does
Your
Zacho
guy,
have another
Zacho.
year with
I'm trying
Husky?
to look up when Monster Cup
Hey,
is.
your
Fuck
guy,
off.
it's in
It's the-
October.
it's the first weekend of October.
October, it's irrelevant.
Does
Don't
Zacho
worry.
have another year at Husky, or is this
Yeah.
his last year?
No,
Okay,
he's
so
got another
him, Anderson, they're good. Coop's good. Marv, he re-upped, right? We don't even know what's going on with Marv.
Coop isn't good.
Yeah, I thought he re-upped.
Coop?
Did he?
If
Yeah.
they didn't re-up him, they're idiots.
I don't think they did.
like,
Yeah, they're
where the
stupid.
fuck's he going to go?
I don't
no
think.
shit.
I don't think they did. yet.
I don't know.
I think this
well,
is the second year of his contract.
I don't know. Roger
maybe-
DeCoster would be a fucking idiot.
Maybe.
How long was AC's contract? 1 year, 2 years?
No, AC's is 1. AC's is this year.
All right, so he's
He's
in limbo.
And this is the end of his 250 contract. This
So
isn't a 450.
so he's in limbo.
Oh, they re-up.
Oh, they're
No, I know they're going to re-up him, but you're talking about going in. What happens if he doesn't perform outdoors? Now you're talking about.
I think he gets a golden pass.
Okay, maybe
Yeah.
he gets a pass. Okay, but you're still talking about a bunch of different dudes that are, figuring out the 250 guys, middle of their championship. Going, Frenchie's moving up, J Mart's moving up. All these different guys are moving up. Now you're saying I get even a later jump on 450 testing for Supercross.
Yep.
This whole thing is people need to start looking further ahead of what this affects and what it doesn't. This is screwing up a lot of guys. It's going to be, this whole year is going to be screwed up. And if you're,
And it's not even just our sport.
no, and Formula One.
NASCAR guys. Like
Formula One
GP
doesn't
guys.
start till June. Their season was supposed to start this past weekend, so they're not starting till June. All I know is it's going to be a crazy year, and I don't really know what to expect because now you're talking about a lot of guys that should be testing and training, but you're talking about a lot of guys that aren't used to having downtime,
Yeah.
like not racing. What happens with the JGR team? They're the only team that really need this, but what happens with them? Savachi needs this more than anybody, which I heard he's pretty close to being back on the bike.
Tickle will be back.
I've heard that JGR is going away.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
It sucks, but I think so.
I heard they talk. I heard
Well,
they
who
talked
are
to
they gonna get?
KTM, and KTM basically told them pound sand. So
Gas. They need gas. Gas
They
is
did
KTM,
gas.
but
Yeah.
maybe they go with
But
Aprilia.
I don't know.
TM.
TM,
Can I
something.
get a beta?
Can I get a Cannondale from back in the day?
I think sadly though, I think they're going.
All
away.
right, so if they go away, that's even more reason for the guys on the JGR squad that they need this year to perform.
No.
It's so.
Amart, Jimmy D, Savachi.
So we got a few minutes here. We got nothing better to talk about right now because I don't want to talk about this stuff anymore. Number 19, Unser Mas.
Justin Bogle.
So
Bogle, that was a sign way back.
Yeah, he's got it.
No, the 19 went out and the
Oh,
19.
Jesus Christ.
there we go.
Wow, good.
Conspiracies here.
That was a long walk for a short drink
Yeah,
of
that
water.
was. Who do we have coming up in the 250s? J Mart,
J Mart, Frenchie, McElrath.
McElrath.
Sexton's up.
Sexton's
Sexton.
for outdoors.
But Sexton's already signed, so I'm not worried about him.
So nobody else on the Cowie squad, nobody else on Husky. Amart's definitely not moving up because his Supercross season has been trash.
Amart's going to retire.
Yeah, he's 30
Because
now.
when JGR goes away, he's going to sign him for 250s.
Nobody else on Yamaha because Cooper is only his second year.
Yep.
And then obviously Nichols, unless he has a ridiculous outdoor season, isn't
He's
moving
not
up.
now.
Nobody on TLD.
Nope. Because they're all young.
And Geico is Hunter, Jet. Christian Craig's not moving up because let's be real, he's never going to move up.
Craig's gonna
Well,
have a
I mean,
Geico
he'll just have a ride
450.
forever.
Yeah, he's going to have a Geico 450.
So really, it's just those three.
So you have those three. So where do those three?
Frenchie, KTM,
Okay,
tapping
I can't
in. Let's
argue that.
be real.
Uh,
Even if Marv's still racing, DeCoster is not letting him go.
That is what
anywhere
I've heard. Yes.
McElrath, as much as I like Aaron Plessinger, is taking AP spot.
Where's AP going then?
Because he's starting to
KTM
perform.
or Rocky Mountain KTM. I can
see that.
I can see that because they're
I've heard
Bogle-
jumbling him back to GNCC racing.
Yeah,
Even
that
though
too.
he debunked the rumor, but I could see that.
But J Mart is really the one who's getting screwed in all this deal because especially if he comes out and wins a 250 outdoor title,
Which I wouldn't put it past him.
pretty much the only person in my opinion that's even going to be on that level is Frenchie. And I don't think with Frenchie, even his starts in Supercross have been better. If J Mart gets to start,
So-
Frenchie ain't catching him.
So where is he landing?
He's the one who gets screwed the most on all this because Chase
Where
took
did
his
he go?
ride, which no disrespect to Chase, I think this was a little bit premature. I think that they should have waited
Yeah.
to see what happens
I
for the
think
whole
so, too.
season. But I don't know, where does he go? Because Cowie's locked, Suzuki's going away, KTM's locked. I mean, does he take Dean Wilson's spot at Husky?
No.
So, I mean,
Gas Monkey, Husqvarna, dude.
I'm not trying to disrespect Dino. I'm not a fan, but he's had a better season than all of us thought.
Whoa, hang on a second. Is Tedder going outdoors?
I think that, I don't know. That's a good question. They got factory support, so you
So,
would think
the-
with Martine.
Dude,
Dude.
What about Hep?
can you put J
Next
Mart
chance,
on? Can you put J Mart on Tedder's bike? It's just sitting there with a 111 on it.
If you're, This is so disrespectful to J-Mart.
That is very disrespectful, but it's not bad equipment. Come on.
It's fat. Well, Martine's done well. It's factory. The
Let me say,
KTM.
Martine ran second for 18 minutes.
And
And I don't know
factory.
I don't know what kind of connection they have with the big green claw, but
Dude, I mean, they can change like
Oh,
the
yeah,
size of their
Tedder-
piston
Tedder's-
and their crankshaft and stuff.
Tedder
so
has
they're
had
good.
connection with Monster forever. It don't matter
well,
what.
they,
color.
that I could see that.
If you're J-Mart though, you got to be looking at
Or-
this, the biggest slap in the face. you've
Or
Well, we all
or
knew
the,
that coming into the
we
season.
could bench race a
Pissed.
little more. J-Mart's a Honda guy. Depending on what kind of relationship he has with Honda, do they fund a little bit to the Moto Concept guys to go outdoors?
No, because Genova won't.
Yeah, and I'm about to say he'd be.
They'd have to pay for it.
Even if Honda's cutting a check.
They would have to
That's what
pay
I'm saying.
for it.
If Honda,
I don't think
if
Honda's
J-Mart,
going to.
if has a good enough relationship with him, and Honda wants him on a Honda bad enough, they'll cut
All right,
a big
so
enough check.
I think they would cut a
Did this-
check to Geico first
did
to run a
this year-
450 out of there.
Well,
okay.
To run two. One
let's-
for him, one for Craig.
Let's just go back to what. Let's go back to what we just said. I think that Honda kind of proved or kind of showed that they don't
Give a fuck.
give a fuck about J-Mart after his injury, which is fucked up to the highest degree.
Yeah.
But I think that they proved showing that they're going to sign Sexton, which Chase deserves it. He's real good. He's got a championship. He did well outdoors when he was healthy. I think that they showed right there they do not give a shit. They did not have faith in what was going to happen with J-Mart after he broke his back. Honestly, the only thing I can see is that it's either going to be Husky or it's maybe like I said, maybe he goes to Rocky Mountain and he's back.
There's no way he goes to Husky because you still have Ando, Zacho, and then you have Dean. There's just no
But
way.
are you going to take Dean over J-Mart on a 450? Because Dino is more susceptible to get hurt than anybody in the pits.
It's all going to depend on what kind of sponsorship comes into the sport.
I mean, we talked about Savachi and we went back and forth, but
Where does he go?
I'm not talking about him, but even you agreed that it was bullshit that Savachi might have not had a ride. If J-Mart does not end up on a true factory team 450, that will be the biggest
That's the
disgrace
biggest-
I think
yeah.
I've ever seen.
Well,
and
it's
then we
just
can
the
talk
way the
about
market
Savachi.
is.
Where the hell does Savachi go?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another dude. That's why I say
Does
outdoors.
CBGMD come in and sponsor a team? Or what?
Outdoors, he has got to kill it outdoors, and I have faith that if he stays healthy, he will be fine. But I think for outdoors, for Savachi, if JGR goes away to have any shot at getting a ride with somebody, he's got to be top five every weekend. Well, not every weekend, but be top five
Majority of the time.
most of the time. You know, I don't know. This season is got even more interesting.
Yeah, especially with
Off
all
season's
this
gonna be
stuff.
way.
And if J-Mart does win a 250 championship, then you got to think that somebody's going to have to step up. Are we looking at the first factory team with 3 riders? Like a true factory team?
I don't know.
I mean, because if KTM does it with Frenchie,
Somebody else is going to do it.
why the hell? I mean, if you're
I don't know. It's just going to be interesting to see.
Kawasaki,
No.
you can say no all you want, but if he goes out and wins it and he's talking to Eli and he's saying, hey man, you guys, I need a ride. You guys got to do something.
The
I-
Eli connection's the only thing I can see.
I think that
Yeah.
Kawasaki would go.
That number 6 would look pretty good on a green.
It actually would. It would. I don't know. I just
369, damn fine. Underneath that
Oh,
sign,
there
I'd
we
say.
go.
I just
Yeah.
cannot see J-Mart not having a factory ride, man. I can't wrap my head around that.
I think though, as we go forward here, because of the way the amateurs are and everything like that, we're gonna start seeing this.
No, I think they pull the funding.
They have to do
I
three-
think they pull the funding out of the amateur guys and give it to a guy like
Well,
that.
then I think you're going to see more 450 teams with 3 riders. You're going to have to.
You're gonna, I mean,
So, because you can't be telling all these.
or
other
maybe this is the revolution, and we start to see all privately owned and funded teams.
Well, we've talked about that in the past.
Breaking news: TLR Coatings and Durango Guitar Works signs Jeremy Martin to a 2-year deal.
Jesus.
I don't think we have quite that much money.
I
We are just getting our feet wet.
Maybe
We've
Paul
got
Max will finally.
We
get
got the
money.
Kevin Moran sponsorship. We're just getting our feet wet, which got us 1 round that he didn't qualify for.
We need for him to make a make.
I think you're going to have to see 3 riders. You're going to have to take a page out of the GP books because there's a lot of dudes coming out of the 250 class in the next couple of years. So you're going to tell me that in a couple of years, if Justin Cooper and Fortner continue to do well, but there's rides that are filled, they ain't getting factory rides. If Austin Fortner, when Frenchie moves out, wins his championship, and Justin Cooper wins the Supercross championship, you're going to tell those dudes, "Nah, sorry, don't have enough room."
I don't know what the answer
I don't know,
is.
man. Malcolm Stewart won a title and didn't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Malcolm Stewart also wasn't racing.
Has a lot of
outdoors.
baggage with him.
And he doesn't race outdoors.
And has a lot of baggage.
He has a lot of baggage, and he doesn't race outdoors. And I secretly think the industry hates the Stewarts.
I would say I think it's something that's going to be interesting to see, but I think we're going to see it
Well, then
more
are
and
you
more
kicking
until
dudes
the
out-
industry changes.
Then are you kicking a lot of these dudes in the 450 class that have been in there for a while out?
No?
I say rule change. If they want to ride a 250F, let them go back down.
I think that should be a thing too, but that's a whole nother show in itself. So
I don't know. We could talk about this for hours, but I think that things are gonna have
Maybe
to change.
next week's show. I don't think we'll have much going on.
no, but I'll tell you what, I will have some numbers on how much.
Oh, on next week's show
Frenchie
too.
pie.
So do your homework. Do your homework,
Well, I've
boys.
got a lot to do on Saturdays now. So
All right.
I know, this is
The
pretty
next
6
show,
weeks
the next
is
show,
big.
I want to talk about. Let's bench race on the best races we've seen over the years,
Oh boy.
and they'll probably be
anytime
on
you wanna
YouTube.
be-
So
hey.
we can just we can sit down and have Supercross marathons.
Yeah, those old YouTube videos pulled up from any site are gonna be hitting hard. for
Yes.
that.
I better go burn them in. Put them on the.
So pretty much any James Stewart 125 race, anytime James and Ricky race together, even if it was for 4 laps.
Toronto 14.
Toronto 14. I'm watching that GoPro.
Hang on, we'll get into this next show. So tune in.
Jeffrey
So,
Hurley's
yeah.
and Ken Roxon back in the old days.
I've seen that.
All right. So anyway. So yeah.
Taka
So this has been another episode here as we handle this whatever the fuck it's called that we're going through right now.
Beep.
I said that F-bomb like 4 times.
I know. No monetization.
We will try to continue to do shows at least every other week, if not every week here as we go on until we get back to racing.
Or drop something in the comments if there's something you want us to talk about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
give us some ideas, man.
Because we got lots of time now. So thanks for tuning in. Remember, check out our sponsors, TLR Coatings, Durango Guitar Works, all sorts of ways to support us. Cole's unemployed right now. Justin's about to be unemployed because they're shutting down everything. TLR Coatings, we're still kicking. So remember, if you need custom powder coating stuff because you're stuck at home, boom, call us, text us, whatever.
Hang on, I just want to point out I asked Travis if I could come help around the shop, and I got no call.
Whoa. I told him he could come help.
He told me he
The
didn't
next week he showed up. I go, bro, I thought you were coming to work, and I didn't get a call.
Yeah, I mean, when you show up to a job, you should know what time the job starts.
Bro, I get out here 5 o'clock in the morning.
All right, what time do you blast?
501.
5:01.
I'll be here blasting at 5:03.
Bro, I throw the clothes on as I get out of bed, and I'm fucking,
So 5:03
walking
means
into
5:25.
5:01.
No,
Yeah.
my name ain't Wyman.
He'll be here at 5:25 p.m. So anyway, yeah. So make sure to click those links in the description down
If
below.
you need
to
some
support
motocross
us.
gear, I can still sell you some gear. So you need some knee braces, chest protectors, boots, whatever you need. I could probably sell it to you at a nice discount. Slide into my DMs with the code TLR10.
Oh boy. Anyway,
You heard it here first.
thanks for tuning in. We will be back soon with another episode.